You're good to go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Clover Garden School Board of Directors, August 8th, 2023 meeting. Ms. Braken, role and mission of the board at 6:35 p.m. Sorry, Ms. Jackson.
The role of the board, we're entrusted to care for the current school and stay focused on the vision for the future school. No trust, no unity, no progress. Mission, Clover Garden School, foster community, generate enthusiasm, challenge students academically, and produce successful methods.
Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda for this evening? Are there any questions or changes to that agenda for this evening? Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Do I have a second? All in favor? The first was, and then second, Merle, and second, Foster, sorry. Has everyone had a chance to review the July 11th, 2023 minutes? Any questions on that meeting? Do I have a motion to approve those minutes, the July 11th, 2023? Mr. Russell, second, Ms. Merrill, all in favor? Ms. Reagan, do we have any public comment this evening?
No, ma'am.
Moves us down to academics. Principal update, Mr. Spence or Mr. Feldman Spencer.
Sure, kick it off.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Feldman. All right, so good evening, everyone. Let's hop into the K-8 world. So first of all, we just wanted to take a moment to publicly provide a space to honor our parent volunteers that we have had. They've been working through the cafeteria, the car rider line, as well as our PM shuttle. So we just want to publicly take this moment to thank them, and they're reaching out for opportunities as well to continue to help and assist with what we have going on. Also, we want to give a big shout out to our staff. It's been a very a different year, of course. Quite naturally, we're in such a transitory space, and so they have done everything from their normal expected duties to bus ride-alongs, additional supervision, shuttles, and everything in between. So we definitely want you all to know that they are on it there, and then to you all for sure, just for providing the opportunity to have a greater presence here on both campuses and that desire. And so I just want to say to that point, when the staff, to hear that you all were asking, how can we support, how can we be there, like the expression of gratitude and awe. So thank you to you all for that. So right now we have hopping into academics, and first of all, who's on campus? So right now in the K-8 world, we have a total of 675 students that are enrolled, and we have a few on the waiting list. We have 5 on the waiting list, which would put us to that 680 in this goal. So we're waiting to receive confirmation for them, and Ms. Whitfield has been working tirelessly, effortlessly, day by day, scheduling tours, providing information and things of that nature, helping our students and parents to make decisions in terms of coming on board there. Now, how did we open up? So this opening of school this year, we began with a staff meeting and kickoff. We were very mission-minded. I do want to show a brief clip to you all in just a moment. We've been focusing on cultivating team and building relationships. We felt like it was extremely important because we have so many new staff members this year, and really trying to continue to cultivate community that way with our staff, and then of course reciprocating that to our students. Also, we have had kindergarten orientation. We had staff kids orientation, which was a new experience for kindergarten. Mrs. Reagan kind of spearheaded that, just providing staff with the opportunity, staff and their child, the opportunity to just let them know that we're here, that we understand, looking at expectation as well, and then helping them to know that we're here for that support as we're providing clarity of expectations there. So that was a really neat experience. I think it was well received in addition. We also open house, which was the first day. Again, teachers and staff, they are focusing on fostering relationships with the students and again, setting expectations and routine, as well as procedures. And this year in particular, we have relaunched, so to speak, or reloaded the matrix, which is our school-wide expectations. So every day we are encouraging staff and students the same to come to the school prepared and ready to show and be their best, and that's BEST, where they're behaving safely, empowering others, showing honor in all they say and do, and then taking accountability or ownership rather for their actions. So that is something that we're walking it out right now. We see the need as well as we are welcoming our new students there. Now I'm gonna turn it over to Mrs. Yes, I do. All right, I'm gonna show one clip of our staff. We spent a lot of time just trying to be intentional about developing the working relationship as we are moving and looking in our community aspect. So one thing that we did, we talked a lot about in the beginning, as a staff, is vision and mission and how this work together. And as Clover Garden, as an organization, of course, we have a vision, which we know as our preferable future. So when we see our community and our staff, our students rather, this is what we want to see, but the mission is the work and how and what it is that we're doing to accomplish that. So we took some time to make sure that you are aware of our assignment and that being the mission. So, and these are in the drive. So this is a really short clip here. So just wanted to share that with you. There are other images in the drive that you can look at your leisure of some of the opening activities and so forth. But yeah, we just thought it was really important to make sure that we understand the work that we are engaging in on a day-to-day basis and had a little fun while doing it.
Right. So I'll go over a little bit about our testing. We are just now starting to give our BOY, our beginning of the year assessments. We have given our BOD test, which is our beginning of grade for our third graders already. We've had a few makeups, so we're just now uploading the rest of those to the jail, as we call it, to our DPI. So we're waiting on the results back from that. We're getting our baseline data right now from iReady. All of our kindergarten through 8th grade are taking that assessment for math and for reading. And then our M-class assessments, which gives us our reading data to help form how they're going to do their literacy groups, how they're going to do their intervention groups and things like that for K-3. Or their testing window is happening right now. They have up through August 18th to begin those. And they also have to do mandatory training through DPI to be able to do that as well. So we're in the middle of that. We're also ordering our check-ins and they have to do training for that as well. So we're getting that for biology is also coming, and Mr. Feldman might can speak a little bit later on for that, but for the check-in for biology. But then 3rd grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, 8th grade also have check-ins as well. So that has been ordered and that's underway coming up also. So that's a little bit on the academic.
Thank you. And one other portion before we turn it over to our kindergarten team. is our outdoor classroom. So we have an outdoor classroom, and so it's been under some remodeling, some cleaning happening for us. And just this past weekend, we had several of our very own students be out there working. They were able to clean it up. They also got some of the dead trees, cleaned out the drains so the water could flow under the gravel of the parking lot out here. And there are a few more things that they're looking to do. And even today, there was a class, outside, being able to utilize that space. But those participants were Leah Lewis, Mr. and Mrs. Yearsley, Aurora and Charlotte Yearsley, Carter, Brooklyn, Grayson, and Hudson Bradford that worked over the weekend to make sure that that happened for us. So that was pretty exciting there. And I'm gonna be quiet. So this kindergarten team, they're also known as the Kinder Moms. That was a team name that they named themselves based on commonalities that they all had from the beginning of the year. So I'm gonna zip it. You ladies have the floor.
I'm going to pause for just one quick second. Athletics, she did her, okay, real quick.
Yes.
They have a 75.
Yes, sir.
The pause one quick second. Sorry. Thank you.
Hi, I'm coming in to give a quick update on athletics. I really just wanted to pinpoint the amount of participation that we have this year. We are able to fill JV volleyball, varsity women's tennis, along with men's varsity soccer and the boys and girls cross country team. So that covers all of our high school. With middle school, we're looking at tryout start Monday. We have over 50 girls signed up to try out for middle school volleyball. We have over 35 to sign up for boys soccer. And then we actually have over 35 kids signed up for cross country as well. So I just wanted to report about how the amazing things that are happening in athletics, and we're getting a lot of participation. And then the last thing that I wanted to tell you guys about in the near future, just to be able, I feel like one of our special things we have is K through 12. And I want to be able to still put that together, even though we're in two separate buildings. So we're actually going to be offering on the half days starting in September, sport camps for our K-5 students. Starting right when we get out of school at 12 o'clock, we'll let them have lunch, and then they're going to do some skills. And it's going to be hosted by our varsity high school teams. So our coaches are going to run it, and their players are actually going to be the ones running the camp, getting to be along with the little kids as well. And they'll get to spend the whole time, learn some skills, and then have like a moving part in the last hour of the camp where parents can come and watch them put their skills together for a game-like situation too. So I just wanted to come in and give a nice little update for athletics, but it's going really good. It's busy, but we have so many great things going on in athletics. I just want you guys to know.
Thank
for your
you.
time. Thank you. Thank you.
And now, without further ado, these amazing kindergarten ladies, well, thank you guys. All right, while she's getting us hooked up, thank you for having us, but give us grace. We've been here a long time today, and tell you, it's rough in kindergarten right now. All right, no, really. I'm Miss Odie. I'm Miss Page. And I'm Miss Davis. So we came here tonight because we wanted to share with you a little bit about the conference we attended this summer in Nashville. So this was the Elevate Conference. And we all three attended in June. You can go on this slide.
So yes, it was like she said, a 3-day conference that included having speakers. These were just some of the names and faces that you might notice. But we also had some like fun icebreakers and brain breaks. This one in particular was my favorite. I don't know if it works if you want to try. But Kangaroo is famous on YouTube, and they came and performed for us for an hour or something. So that was fun.
And we share them in our classroom. Our students all move now.
Like, looking up down.
I know.
All right, and our first night we were there, we met Gary Brooks. I don't know if you know him, he's famous
Loving.
on TikTok and Facebook. He was so much fun.
It's funny.
But he talked about the importance of doing 1% in an area that would make a difference. To make sure that the only is only 1%, and as educators, we sometimes give way more. And have fought for that sometimes. So that's why I really enjoyed him. And then on the second day, we met Ron Clark. And you might know him, he's also very famous for his academy that began in New York City, but he currently has a location in Atlanta that you can actually have tours of, and groups of teachers can go down and have field trips if that's ever an option. Very subtle.
Yeah.
But he talked about the data trends, the current data trends, about how we're currently 41st in the world for education, but he spun it in a positive way. Gave life experiences that he has had in his school, being teacher and principal, and now director of his academy. And he even had a student actually present at the conference. So that was really special because he welcomed her on stage and they shared a moment. So that was really cute. You remembered her name and everything. Sometimes I'm struggling. So. And then the other friend we have here was Greg Smedley. I've been following him for the last 5 years. He's known as the kindergarten smorgasbord master. He's awesome, but he's just a lot of fun. He was part of putting this on. And I just love so many things with his classroom organization and classroom management. And I really want to do something in the next few years. He does not have desks in his classroom or tables. Tell you more about it, but it's all about
We can do that.
Savings, yeah.
Talking budget to the board. I mean, come on, let's talk.
Here's some pictures that we have made together. We've done a lot of bonding as a group. We don't work together as much as we want to, but being able to stay at the hotel that night and bond with each other. All right, we wanted to talk about kindergarten parent orientation. I know that they've already touched on it some, but we did something different this year where we actually had sessions and they rotated. We got that idea from this conference because that's kind of the way we were. We signed up for conferences, for sessions, and we rotated. So we really enjoyed it. We had great feedback from it. We had administration in the cafeteria, we had information in the gym, and then our classrooms. But Ms. Davis wants that 1% to be some music during the transition 6 years. All right. So we just threw in these pictures of our current classes. Ms. Davis's class currently has 23 students, Odie's 22, and mine 24. So we just put those in there. You can see all of our new friends here. And yeah, and then we literally just made a TikTok, so please.
We were hoping for a skit.
Yellow queen, you can't read that. The math queen. We're still here. We're passed out. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I earned a one.
Thank you.
I have to be down.
I know it.
That is.
Wait till they get a copy.
Okay, so another thing that we've been doing, we're talking about community and involving. One of the things that we've been doing with student life is our Grizzly student assistance. So our car rider line is long. It is very long in the afternoon. And so one thing we've been trying to employ is our students. We've been using our shuttle kids in the afternoons right now and some of our middle school students. We've been asking them and training them to help open the car doors, kind of like assistants in the afternoons. And so we've trained them to come out and help in our front circle. And they are excellent at doing it and loving it. And so as they come out, they've been helping start the first round. And as they get tired or want to come inside, they come in and choose the next round of kids or pick somebody different and come out. And they are responsible for training that second round to come out. And then they train them. Then when they get tired, they come back in and train another round. And so it just, they have to be peers and trainees and trainers. And so it leads to leadership and other opportunities for them within the school. Mentors, mentees, back and forth as well, because it's not necessarily what grade level, it's who's here. It teaches them responsibility, what to do and different things. So we felt like that was a good opportunity to help and other people get to see. And then the younger kids are like, I want to do that too. So we're hoping it'll help them as well later on.
And just two last things, you may have seen over the past couple of communications, but we definitely wanted to just bring attention and awareness to the fact that we did have several camps this summer, one being band camp, and then we had an art camp, which was the first time we were able to offer that opportunity to our students here. The band camp had a culminating activity where they had a concert out on the lawn. That was in, both of those opportunities were in July. And then with art, art has continued in their pursuits to offer an art club on Tuesdays to students in grades 3 through 8. So that's been pretty cool as well. And then in terms of some upcoming activities, we do have fundraising going on by athletics, which are cookie dough, which begins on the 11th. And then yes, I'm sorry, just and cookie dough. Yes. There we go. Thank you. Anything else you need to add?
No.
All right,
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Feldman. There seems to be a pause there.
I don't have as many bells and whistles. I don't have any visitors, but I'm here. I think we'll have great positive news to share. Let me get myself together, because that's a tough act to follow there. So, beautiful job, very good.
Yeah, very good.
Very good. So going back to Friday, July 21st, we had talked at the July board meeting about a freshman orientation that we were going to put together. So I wanted to touch base on that and share some really positive news. We had over 84% of those freshmen that were supposed to be with us show up, which was wonderful. And much like Mrs. Spencer and Mrs. Whitfield described, we, focused on community, focused on academics, focused on honor. We reviewed and talked about the importance of our mission and vision. Going back to the little dance there, the dance clip, that actually made its way to the high school, and some of our teachers were doing it. So clearly it was impactful. So that's great, right? I mean, we're talking about keeping the K-12 environment together. That was successful. And actually, it was a lot of the traveling teachers that brought that back to us. So we hope to recognize them very soon for all that they're doing with their very busy schedules on a daily basis. But just to give you a feel, we did talk about our 3 pillars, of course, and we had Mr. Cheek and Mrs. Wilson demonstrate the honor code, talk about the importance of integrity in our academic pursuits. We had some students present to talk about the mentorship program. Mrs. Pascal was supported by some of her student athletes, and Mrs. Wilson also had some student council reps there. So again, the whole I think the key here was trying to integrate these new freshmen so they feel like they're stepping into a place where they belong from the very first day. And you know what? We did some team building too. In fact, out of the 3 hours of that morning, we spent 45 minutes. Our teachers were in small groups with about 8 to 9 students. And as I toured, all I saw was, I mean, that was what everybody loved. Right? So they loved the team building. It's a lot of fun, a lot of smiles and enthusiasm. So should we do it again? The data says we should. So we did a little exit survey. And we asked the students, how satisfied were you with the information provided? 98% were strongly satisfied or satisfied. How satisfied were you with the social activities? That was a 100% rating in return. How prepared do you feel to begin freshman year? 90% said strongly prepared or prepared. And then we had an open-ended piece too. I want to share just a couple of those. But what was the best part about freshman orientation? Meeting new people, the icebreaker games, branching off into team building, and being able to socialize with new students and staff. So they threw our staff in. The staff was incredible. And if it weren't for them, and this is all shared in your board doc, but there's some photos in there as well. So please take some time this evening or very soon to take a look at that. But most definitely we'll do this again. We had 80 something students there. And you know, unfortunately, some of them decided not to join us, but I'm not aware of anybody that was there that decided to want to. So very close. We did, of course, also have our first day of school and open house on the 24th. There's not a lot to write there, except that the feedback I received from parents on the ground that day was very positive. They said it was very well organized. They appreciated the maps and the directories that were there to guide them, and as well as the staff that was out front and personable. So it was very new, foreign environment, you know, to have to walk the sidewalks and enter storefront bays. But at the end of the day, very few unhappy campers and complaints. So very smooth. With integrity in mind, I wanted to talk just a little bit about the operations and provide some updates, because going back to, I believe it was May and April when teachers saw that facility for the first time, they went in and they created a list of needs primarily. And that list was not short. So I do want to thank the school leadership and the administration and everybody that plays a role in you know, the financial piece to make sure that they feel like they know they made a huge impact on the teachers by making sure their wish list was granted, because without those basic tools, we couldn't provide the sound instruction that we're providing in that environment every day. And it really is going well. As I walk through, and I joke that I'm kind of like a Roomba on the run, but I really am just kind of going and hitting corners and spinning, going in a new direction. But the fact is everywhere I turn and look, instruction's happening just the same way I would have anticipated it would in this building. So really have not skipped a beat. I do want to talk a little bit about how many of you have been in there. I don't know how many have toured the Integrity campus, but you're welcome anytime to come in and check it out. I promise you'll be pleased with what you see. But as you walk in, we have a couple of bays, iKids and student ministries that have partitions, and they are open environments where there's multiple instructional classes meeting at the same time. And those have worked very well. The teachers have their TVs, their document cameras, you know, every tool that you can imagine, laptop stands, and they're just going for it, hitting a home run every day. So swinging for the fences. Operations, of course, there's a lot of questions over the summer. What's it going to look like? How's it going to function? You know, lunch is always a question mark, but so far the students have really cleaned up after themselves, and that's something that I pride, you know, the group on thus far. Is it's not our home. It's our home away from home, and we're treating it with just the utmost respect. And so, you know, no facility issues down there at Integrity this far. We hope to keep it that way. I want to give just a few shout outs to the team. Those teachers that are in shared spaces, they do have to break down and set back up multiple times a week. And that's a new stressor on top of being in a different place. But I've encouraged them and helped them, and also asked students to support And so on Monday mornings, when students come in off the early bus at 7 to 10, we get 10 to 12 students who come down and work with those teachers, put the tables out, put the chairs out, stretch the partitions, roll the TVs in place, get the extension cords out, et cetera. And with a small army like that, what was taking that group of about 5 teachers close to an hour to do can be done in 10 minutes. So that's the community spirit that I see alive and well down in Integrity right now. Also just want to, and I could shout out everybody, in fact, I will, like, if it weren't for every single person down there doing their part throughout the day from start to end, it wouldn't be going as smoothly as it is. So I just appreciate it. I'm grateful for everybody. But I do want to shout out the people that are driving those buses every day. Going the extra 20 minutes. So that would be Mr. Whittington, Mr. Ward, Miss Mevin, and Coach Dodson. You see them, or if you want to reach out to them, shoot them an email. Truly, Mrs. Simpson for organizing all of this. I can't put words to the logistical piece there and the commitment that's demonstrated by those folks to get the kids to school, get them home safely, to shuttle them to band, athletics, or just to get here to meet their parents so they can go home.
What were those names again?
Yeah,
Mr. Feldman?
it's Coach Dodson,
Mhm.
Mr. Ward,
Mhm.
Miss Mevin, Mr. Whittington. And of course, Mrs. Simpson is the magician there. The wizard, whatever you want to say, something special, yeah. But I just, again, I'd be, amiss if I didn't say that tonight, just how important those individuals are. Lastly, I just want to talk about enrollment just briefly. So we do have a very robust, as I think I said a couple months ago, freshman class sitting at 99 currently. We have 268 students right now at the high school. Target is 270, so we're just shy. And that does include the 27 accelerated 8th grade students who are in the advanced cohort this year. Okay. And I didn't give a lot of fanfare to their orientation, but they also had an orientation in the afternoon of the 21st that went extremely well. It was a little bit shorter, but much of the same items were covered. The only addition was that we did tour them through the facility to help them be just a little bit more comfortable on their first day, and wanted them to share that information with their parents, of course, that they got to see the building. The wait list at the high school is depleted, so we will not be able to add any additional this year. I believe we just finished day 12, if I'm not mistaken. So in the next 8 days, we wouldn't have any additions unless we have new applications. And I think that's the bulk of it. The one big event coming up in August, at least according to the calendar, is the EC night. Is that on your radar? An EC night for August 17th. And I imagine that'll be hosted here, but that is a K-12 event. Yeah. And I'd be happy to entertain any questions you have about integrity, anything you might be wondering about how it's going there at the high school.
Sounds like it's gone well. So I'm very proud of the
I feel
entire
like-
staff,
I feel like it's-
how they've organized it, pulled it together and keeping it going every day.
that's
So I'm glad,
A word that I heard it described as was beautiful. That's what, I mean, it's so, I mean,
Mhm.
what more can you say? Someone said
Yeah.
it was just beautiful, the way everything worked.
I'll tell you the greatest compliment, and it's happened just a couple times this year, is when I'm out at dismissal and the parent gets out of a parked car to shake my hand and tell me, like, to me, there's nothing bigger than that. So, that just warms my heart. Yeah. But
Good
thank you. Be happy to answer any questions, Chad.
good job. Any questions? Mr. Feldman? Mr. Feldman, Ms. Spencer, thank you very much. Appreciate your leadership and glad you're here. Okay, anything else for principal updates? That's very good, okay. Don't have any old business this evening, governance. So nothing for governance, no updates? Finance?
No.
Academic?
As think you have already heard that we're currently in the benchmark testing season for the new school year. Report card has not come out yet. Will hopefully come out in October. Students will be getting their first progress reports next week so that you will know kind of how your students are standing at this point. And the focus on improving math and reading scores for grades 3 through 8 are going to be the target zone. And we're hoping as an academic committee to meet as soon as we figure out what would be best. I don't know if we want to wait for the report card or if we want to meet prior to that. But at any rate, we will be meeting and looking at test results and so forth.
Good job. Long range planning.
I'll always have updates. So we got a lot of, as you can imagine, as we're trying to put it all, button it up together. So we're about 87% complete. That's as of the end of July. Got a lot of folks on the site. Actually, yesterday I counted, I think we have 47 workers on site yesterday, which that was about like 8 companies. So they worked out this kind of grid-like motion inside the building on the first floor and the second floor, so they won't be on top of each other. So I think they've done a really good job as far as logistics, trying to work around each other. Great news that we had our pre-power inspection pass this past Friday, because we had our main transformer finally arrived on the project. So we're hoping Duke Energy to set meters on the project within a few weeks, which means we'll have power in the building. So we'll start cranking up the air. And they are checking moisture levels. I know that was concerned, you know, in the summertime with all the heat. And actually they're really low. So that was great news to see. They're continuing to do those logs, moisture logs every day, especially until we get the actually air into the building. Paving, asphalt paving is probably 80% complete. So they started light poles. So Duke Energy should be installing their poles here soon. So yeah, we're still shooting for that October-ish opening. As we get closer, we'll definitely know. That's about all I have to report, unless anybody's got any questions. It's a lot. It's really a lot going on outside and inside the building. So they are working 6 days a week, so Monday through Saturday.
Parking lot's been full. So the parking lot's been full.
Yes, it has.
Any questions?
Any questions?
for Mr. Huffines? Okay, fundraising. I will say, in the July meeting, we did talk about, we do need a chair from the board on the fundraising committee. So we prefer somebody who's not a chair to consider volunteering. But think about that and let us know next meeting if you're interested. Moving on to new business, well monitoring, Ms. Simmons.
All of our tests have been done, and they all conform within the state requirements. All reporting has been submitted to county and state on July 21st. Right, for our semi-annual submission. So.
Thank you. Mr. Rakin. BOD volunteering opportunities.
Yes. So I'll load too, if you guys notice, I did ask you to your agenda, this based on our retreat and some feedback you guys had. So I actually put your 3 goals on the very front page of the agenda, just to kind of keep us centered, like back to, okay, what did we say we were gonna do? You know, so that kind of keeps us kind of grounded there. So that is on the front page. And then one of those things, just going back to our notes that you guys had asked about, according to your goal, was going to be, you know, the visibility and quality piece. You know, that was big to you guys, like Ms. Spencer mentioned, when that was shared with the staff, they were like, "Oh, that was awesome, that's amazing." And so I think that that is just one step, you know, towards increasing that, is just being able to be visible in the building. So just think about some of those opportunities. I will say, if you don't get my Sunday message, let me know. I know a lot of our parents here do, but some of our community members, you may not. And so if you don't, let me know, and I'll make sure that you guys get that. But we do put volunteering opportunities in there. We're trying to change that process a little bit this year, just to kind of make it very upfront, like, here's a section, look at this section, here's where it is. So we've got some ideas that we're gonna do to improve that. But right now, like Ms. Spencer mentioned, and Ms. Whitfield, our car lines, we are doing the best that we can. Our families have been amazing. We are doubled up, tripled up, 4 lines deep at the back, to keep us off the road, keep our neighbors happy, and to keep our buses safe and families safe as they're traveling back there. So, if you have free time and you'd like to come help us, we are out there every morning and every evening. We again, you'd be amazed at running 1 extra code, how much of a difference that makes in the car rider line. So those are some things that we've done. Again, they've spoken about this before, but lunch is full force. So if you've got a lunch break and you can come over and relieve these wonderful teachers for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, they would be forever appreciative of that. And we've had some personnel changes and things like that, because some of our K-8 folks have lost specials and things like that. And so there's also opportunities there. If you just want to volunteer in a classroom, if that's your thing, and you just want to check it out, let us know. But there are multiple opportunities for volunteering. You guys let me know what you're interested in, or like, you know, hey, I'm an outdoor person, put me outside, what do you need? You know, those type of things. Or no, I'd rather be inside. I've already tried to sign Miss Foster up for the next picture day.
Is that August 22nd?
Yes. So I'm trying to sign her up for picture day, because it's just, they are being very humble. These amazing administrators right here have been putting out fire left and right. It has not stopped. Like that brush pile, Mr. Hines. They're very humble, but they are going as fast as they can, and it just keeps popping up. So I'll be truthful and transparent with you. We are short. We're several short people. And so more bodies in the building would be incredibly, you know, helpful to us as an organization. It just helps things run smoother. You know, this campus has a couple of car lines, so don't worry. We got one at 2:45 and another one at 3:30. So feel free, if you're available, come help us. Let's just take your breath. But I just want to make sure you guys are where I don't want to fall short of you guys wanting to be here and then us not having anything for you to work on. Another area, just last one, just off the top of my head, our poor maintenance man, he is everywhere. He is at both campuses. He's trying to make it work. But there are needs everywhere. And it's simple things as I'm going around taking pictures of lights and I'm like, Taylor, this is out, you know, he's like, okay. But he's working on a massive, you know, list of things that, you know, just wear and tear on your building. You got a ton of children back in the building and adults and things like that. So if it's something as simple as, hey, what light bulb do you want me to change today? You know, those things are huge for our staff, just to keep you here. So that's all I wanted to mention about that, was that I'll make sure you guys let me know if you don't get my message on Sundays. And then too, like I said, we'll have like a separate section that has things listed out if you guys want to have anything.
So should that come in an email, Mr. Lakin?
Yes.
I see it on
Sunday.
Facebook, but I don't know that I've gotten it in an email.
Yeah. Can add you to that. Community members, I'm not sure that y'all get that. She does post that on Facebook, but just in case you don't have that.
I
don't know this.
How about safety and security update?
So again, following up on your notes from this summer, Mr. Huffines asked that we add safety and security to our agenda. Just kind of an update, see where we're at. We kind of put a pause on the project we were contemplating out front. It's not forever gone, but we kind of put a pause on it just to show some priorities elsewhere that have been needed until we can close out our ADM and make sure we get where we're supposed to be. And but safety and security wise, just give you guys a heads up. So on the Integrity Campus, we have installed cameras. So there are quite a few cameras that are outside and inside, as well as one inside, and the majority of them are outside. Mr. Graham is now in hog heaven, so to speak, because now he can see everything that's going on the campus. These are kind of cool. I told him, like, you know, don't get used to this, because we upgraded them a little bit. These have like two-way talking. Be careful of your conversations on the porch, on the sidewalks. He can hear you and talk to you. It's been really nice, they're very clear, they're very nice, they're working the kinks out of those to make sure, you know, the communication piece back and forth, but, that has made me personally feel much more comfortable, just knowing that he's got eyes in the sky, and that's something that he's good at, that is his background, you know, just kind of helps us feel more secure. We are more than, you know, have more than enough here on this campus, it was that campus that we were concerned about, so, that is the most recent, safety and security over there, and I'm gonna shout out Mr. Feldman and the amazing procedures that they have over there. You know, those kids are not unoccupied, they are not outside hanging out by themselves, they have a system. I think I hear Mr. Feldman's name 117 times just in the few hours that I'm there, when I'm bouncing back and forth, but they have a beautiful system where, hey, the kid's coming to you, all right, no problem, and they go and they open the door and they're ready for them. So it is a huge communication piece that's been working together to make that system work over there. On this campus, we are working on, as you noticed, the pods going, so we've got that big gap out there, so there's gonna be some improvements being made out there. Spencer's got some great things coming, equipment wise, playgrounds, that kind of stuff. But one of our holes is, you know, there's an outside class, there's an outside room, you know, that little gym now, which used to be our band room, we have now made that a little gym, so our K-5 kids are in there all day long, it's a beautiful thing. But they're out there all day, they get gym all the time now, all to themselves, but we removed the gate, the fence, and we moved it back. So that will be secure. Taylor has prioritized that. He's almost complete with that. And that just gives us an opportunity for kids to travel, you know, in a very secure place when they're leaving the building and entering another building.
I
That's
noticed
usually
the
outside.
neatest thing that Mr. Summers was doing out, I guess maybe it was in that building, but it was like team working things where they were, it was just awesome. He had put that on his personal page. It wasn't on the Clover Garden page, but it was great. I mean, I was just impressed.
It's been a huge addition. I'm very impressed with the staff that we've got and the new ones that have entered our Clover Garden School family. It's been really cool to see some new things happening, so. But that's all for right now, safety, security wise. We haven't taken anything away from this campus, just that's the biggest thing right now, just to kind of box us in a little bit. Not sure if that was really informative, but
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? Okay, there's nothing else. Do I have a motion to move into closed session under General Statute 143-318.11A5? Ms. Lane, second. Ms. Russell, all in favor? Please note, we moved into closed session at 7:22.